What's up, everybody? Today we'll be doing the front left wheel bearing on my 2007 Ford Explorer. I kind of put this off a little while. There's my ambulance. There's my truck. It's my daily driver. It's -10 today, so we're going to try to keep this short and sweet. So anyway, we're going to go through the basic steps. Should be really easy, and follow along. We'll get her done. All right, we got her up in the air. Just got the one side up. You see, it's frosty out, and the rotors look like shit. But anyway, really straightforward job. What we gotta do: pull caliper off. Okay, pull the wheel speed sensor off. This goes up underneath the hood, and it's just beside the battery. And take the big old fucking nut off, and then back here there are 3 15mm bolts holding the hub assembly on, and they all come off. So what you need a 15, right? You need a 19, you need 21, you need 32, and one of those might not hurt. So I also got my big old ugga dugga there. Take that nut off. You can probably get that undone without. I would just leave the wheel on, take the center cap out, crack the nut, and then let her fly. So I was gonna start pulling this apart. You guys know how this shit works. I'm just gonna take the caliper carrier off with a full assembly with the caliper, rather than just take it off piece by piece, because it's less shit to take off. Pull the rotor off. Before I do all that, I'm gonna blow this nut off just to make sure that she comes loose, and then kind of go from there. This is a local BC truck. It shouldn't be too rusty, but you know, it does have 200,000 K on it, and it is an 07, so we'll see how she goes. I'll catch up with you. I'll show you where that connection is up here for the wheel bearing. Don't mind my crusty old fucking battery. It is this guy right here. Disconnect that. If I could do that with these gloves, you can do it too. Pop her down. Let's see. Out of the clips. Hope we don't break them. It's old plastic after all. Okay, feed that down through. Don't forget that part, okay? Trusty old 4.6. I've actually been really happy with this truck. Had it for 4 years, and it's hardly caused me any problems. So hopefully yours will do the same for you. Anyway, let's get back to taking this apart. Fucking right. Oh, yeah, she moves. Good. Okay. All right. So. Get this out of here. 31. somebody overtook that a little bit. Try this guy. Gross. What are you talking for you fucking rotors? It's like I didn't make it in my list of things. It's like a 7 or 8 mil that holds that wire on. My bearing came with a new sensor, so I'm just gonna take it all off. Otherwise, you could attempt to remove it here with that Allen. Best of luck to you if you try that. This thing's fucking pretty cruddy. Pretty rusty, all things considered. Like, I may have to do brakes sooner than later. That fucking sucks, but is what it is. I've got lots of pad life left, but obviously the rotors kind of calved it. So I think I remember 5 years ago I turned these rotors. They were okay then, but I think I was going to replace them this time around. I don't like to turn them for that exact reason. They just kind of turn to shit sooner than the pads do. But yeah, so now you can kind of get a better look at what we're dealing with in here. You can see the threads on those 15 mil bolts. They're pretty shitty looking. Come on, focus, you fucking piece of shit. There we go. Right there. So I'm going to spray them down with some penetrating oil and hope she all comes apart. Fuck, he's cold, man. So next, we just grab this guy, see which one fits the best. This one or this one. This one doesn't really fit. Put this guy on. Okay. If you're gonna buy and you don't have one of these, just hit it in here with a chisel and a hammer and it will separate eventually. But I got the slide hammer, so let's use it. Let's take in the old lug nuts, putting on them. In a perfect world, you'd have a set of spare lug nuts to do this. I don't happen to have a set, so let's do it this way. Take a slide hammer, spin her on. Stay. actually starting to move a bit. They get fucking in there, man. This isn't exactly the biggest slide hammer in the world either. I may actually revert to the chisel and hammer route on this guy, depending on if it doesn't release. Because I don't really want to swing on this that much more. Fuck it. I don't got all day. It's cold out. Hey guys, as you can see here, obviously the air hammer didn't quite cut it. You can't hear me talking over the air compressor, but basically we're going to move on to the next steps. I think the air compressor is a little bit small for the job, but yeah, we'll kind of move on from here. If you're willing to sacrifice one of these bolts, you put it behind, and you can hit that, and that'll help loosen it up as well. Obviously a bigger slide hammer would help. A little more air would help. You can seriously just do this the old-fashioned way too, just beat the shit out of it, which is kind of what we're stuck with now. So let's just keep working on it, see if we can go. I said it was easy, right? Only has one speed, it's high. So long. It's not going to really help. It's stuck on the inside, but it'll make you feel better. Put some more weight on our slide. I think I got some old rotors under the snow. Let's see. Check that out. Wheel spacer, anybody? First time I ever did that. Holy shit. Oh fuck. So I've got a few different ways I can deal with this. Take a zip disc, put it into the hub, the bearing, so I can really force something into it. I'm just gonna take this off. This is my way now. So close. Right there. Wow. Fucking seized in there. Don't know if you can see. I think you can see that. Took an angle grinder, took a little bit of bearing material out, and I was able to get the chisel in there to get that fucker out of there. Whew. So what I'm gonna do is I've obviously marked up the front of this a little bit. I'm gonna take my file, just gonna clean it up. I take a little bit of sandpaper in there, clean all this up, and reassemble. That fucking sucked. Look, guys. There we go. I think you can see okay. So what I've done here is I've actually set myself up with the light because it got dark. So I've cleaned all the high spots that I could off of the mounting point. I'm worried about the high spots, not the low spots, because the high spots are what's going to effectively change the alignment of the truck if you don't get her back on there straight. Got my new part here, and here's hoping it's the right one. I'm sure you guys all know that struggle. It looks like the right one. What I'm going to do, and I'm going to suggest that you guys do too, before you actually get this in there, is make sure that your bolts are still good. If not, chase them, okay? It's going to really suck if you've gone this far with it and then all of a sudden you can't go any further. So what I've done, cleaned up with sandpaper and emery cloth, inside surface, outside surface. I hit it with a file in a few spots because I was obviously a little bit rough with it, taking it apart. And then I also put a little bit of anti-seize on the axle itself, not on the threads, mind you, but just on the splines. That's 2 bolts, good. And then this is the one that I hammered the shit out of, which I should fix. Let's make sure this guy's still happy too. And hey, it's not, it's all pissed off. So I'm gonna run this through a thread chaser, the die. This is what happens when you hammer on faster. That's why I typically don't try that little fucking move. And it's getting a little desperate, so that's why I did. So I'm just gonna fix the head of the bolt with a couple lifts of the file. Not gonna take much to fix it. And I'm gonna get a thread chaser. I'm gonna fix the main bolts, but let's not worry about that. That I can do off camera and fuck around with later. Let's get this guy back on here, okay? You have to remember what side the sensor was on. For me, it was facing towards the rear. Okay. Hey, bearing slides on. Look at that. So we're gonna grab these 2, and I always recommend starting all 3 of them. By this point, assembly is the reverse of removal. Put these 3 bolts in, torque them to spec. I will put in the description of the video the torque specs along with the sizes that we used again. Just so you know, 90 foot-pounds for those 3. That seems like a lot, doesn't it? And then the caliper carriers are 120, 122, something like that. Which is about the same as the, like on the F-150s, the caliper carrier torque is the same as the wheel torque, if I recall correctly. But let's get this guy in here. This little torque wrench will do up to 100. $90. $90. Spend all this money on torque wrenches, fucking use them, man. And 90. Okay, that's those 3 torque to factory specifications. All right, don't fuck around, or do whatever. Is that in your guys' way? It might be. I'll put it over here. It's 122 foot-pounds. Which is pretty fucking tight. Basically, if you grab the bar and put them as tight as you could from underneath the car, that's about that. That is those two torqued. I've already put my line up over here. Very gently put my torque wrench down here. It's cold. I don't want to fucking shatter anything. This guy, 184 foot-pounds, I want to say. In all technicality, you should be replacing this nut. I am not liable. If you don't replace this nut, I'm going to reuse it. So I think it'll probably be fine. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to snug it up with the gun. And I'm going to show you guys a trick that may or may not be the right way to do it, but I've been doing it for like 15 years. So I'm just going to snug it up with this guy. Screwdriver up in there. Just gonna counter hold it up against this. The proper way to do this, in theory, is you put a pre-tension on it. Let's say 150 foot-pounds. Put the wheel on, put the weight of the car on it, take the center cap out, then torque it. I don't have time for that. 184. My coffee's gone cold. I need new coffee. That thing did that. 184. There we go. A little over, but it didn't double beat, so you're fine. Okay. That is wheel bearing hub assembly on 2007 Ford Explorer. Probably the worst way it could have went, and how I dealt with it. You didn't necessarily need the air hammer. You definitely need some sort of a cutoff wheel or grinder. Big hammer, decent chisel set. Make your slot, beat the shit out of it. It'll come out. All I have to do now, plug this in, bolt my wheel on, torque that, take it for a drive. All right. Peace, guys. I appreciate you sticking around, and I'll see you next time. That was the most fucking bullshit goddamn bearing I've ever done. It's definitely up there. Anyway, she's fucking out. I just took the car for a quick drive, and it sounded way better. So anyway, I don't know if you guys noticed or heard me before. I was saying what I did is I took my grinder, take a little bit, right, focus you, fuck. Okay, there we go. Took my grinder to it, took a chisel, hammered the shit out of it, and then she went. Air hammer not required, but at the very least you need like an angle grinder, chisel, big hammer, and a lot of patience. All right, have yourselves a good one. Peace.